Hey y'all, I'm Ted, and this is my rec room. And what good is a rec room without some games? And personally, I love me some video games. Video games are my life, they're my love, they're my legacy. Usually on this channel, Ted's Rec Room, I don't talk about my games. I save that for the main channel, Majora T, which you can check out if you haven't already. But I wanted to talk about this because this is more of a general talking point. What is the value of my video games? And value takes on many forms. It takes on financial value, it takes on sentimental value, it takes on kind of a moral, ethical value. So I kind of want to touch on, all of these. But where better to start than back in the day? Well, I'll start with when I really started collecting video games. See this mug here? Classic Game Room. That is a YouTube channel I used to follow. I don't follow them anymore for certain reasons, but they were kind of my inspiration in getting onto YouTube and making video reviews in the first place and talking about video games and whatever I want to talk about. And I am grateful to them for that, so I'll always have that kind of nostalgia about that channel. And they did like a game review every day. And so I never really collected video games in that sense before, but this happened like when I graduated from college with my undergraduate degree, and I had a bunch of, I had debt, but I also had income, and so I would spend a lot of my income on collecting video games for all consoles, any consoles. I would get consoles. I got myself a Wii Mini. I got myself another GameCube, and so on and so forth. And so I've had this love and affection for video games since, my whole life, but collecting, especially since like 2013, 2014. And it was a labor of love, I guess you could say. I loved the aspect of getting video games, playing video games, and, I didn't play all of them. That was one of my issues for a while, was like I had a backlog of games I didn't play. And so that's where it all kind of started. So what's the sentimental value of video games to me? That goes back a little further, and it's something that I hold near and dear to my heart. And it's kind of like when I was growing up, I remember some of my first video game experiences. They were, I guess you could say an escape. That would be the common phrase, but I would look at it as more of like a chance to become enchanted and like go into like this kind of dreamlike experience where I loved what I was doing. I used to do things, but I would always look forward to my time coming home and playing video games, my N64, Xbox 360, whatever it was, and whatever the game was. I used to always look forward to that, and so I have this like deep-rooted nostalgia for playing video games. That's not something that's carried over so much post-college. I still love my video games, but I've noticed problems with fully enjoying them and getting to experience them. It's because I do look at them as something of a burden financially, because as I've said before, I'm in debt. I owe money. And so I have not been able to get over this mental roadblock of looking at my games as a burden, holding me back from achieving and accumulating wealth. And, as a point of reference, I mentioned I've been selling video games like since, October 17th. Today's November 28th, is it? And this is the number of games I've sold and the amount that I've made. So I don't know if you can see that. 51 sold, just about $1,800 made. Now, some of that goes to shipping and taxes and everything, but still, I've been selling the games because I've been assessing my own financial situation and needing this drive to get out of debt, and so the video games in combination with my income have really allowed me to make significant strides toward that. Now, I don't want to overwhelm you with this topic of debt, but I want to kind of make you think, how does the value of something, and in this case, video games, change over time? How does that sentimental value change? How does that financial value change? Well, sentimentally, like I said, I'm just not at that point in my life right now where I can fully embrace and love all of the games that I play. And so, having a huge collection has been burdensome to me too, because I know that I keep getting games and I can't finish them. So now I've sold 50 or so, some odd games, some of which were collections. It is kind of like, weight off the shoulders. And so that's a beautiful thing, is that I can now prioritize the games I play a little more, and I don't feel like I have to keep buying new games or stay on top of the latest trends. The other thing is, I'm looking to get back into that point in my life where I can just not have to worry about certain things like finances, etc., and then just really be able to sink into a game again. I almost did that. I almost did that with Breath of the Wild. I know I've talked bad about that game before. I've said it's not a great Zelda game or whatever, but it was a great game. And so, but I was not in the right mind space for it. I did not have like the mental wherewithal to just sink into this game. And so I want to get back to that point, like when I was able to just root myself into a video game. And so that's kind of where my sentiment is at with games. There are some that I'm enjoying right now. But is this something you've ever felt? Have you felt this recently in adult years or whatever stage of life you're at? I'm curious. How does the financial value change over time? Well, oh my gosh, some of these games, they are worth some money. I'll tell you that. Not all of these, but like, I don't know. Boston Burf sent me Fire Emblem a while ago. Like that's now worth like over $200. Super Mario 3D All Stars was supposedly a collector's item. Some of them reduce in financial value, so I've always loved that, is like being able to get games after the fact for really affordable prices. So if you're looking at this in terms of assets and buying games as assets, it's better than something like DVDs and CDs. Those tend not to hold value. And so I've been blessed to be able to sell my video games and make money back and throw a huge chunk of that into my debt. And so like they hold their financial value, which is a blessing and a curse, because like you can't really enjoy a whole bunch of games that way when they're valued so high. But on the flip side, once you get to that point of financial freedom and stability, and you can really afford it, you can actually afford buying games and not thinking about this debt mountain over your head. It's a good feeling. So that's what I'm really striving for. That's what the value of video games are to me. Tell me, do you value video games in a similar way? If so, why? If not, what is something that you do value in a similar sentimental and financial regard? Thanks for watching, guys. This is Ted, and this was my Rec Room. And stay tuned. We'll get more videos out for you soon.